The following is an exclusive presentation of SportsVision. Last night in Comiskey Park, the White Sox broke their losing streak in a big way, beating Oakland 9-5. Neil Allen pitched 8 1/3 innings for his longest outing of the season, and Harold Baines supplied the power as he had 4 RBIs for the Sox. Tonight, the Sox will try and make it 2 in a row as they send Richard Dotson to the mound. He'll be opposed by the fiery Joaquin Andujar for the A's. We'll have all the action next on SportsVision, live from Comiskey Park.
SportsVision presents the 1986 Chicago White Sox. This game is brought to you in part by Budweiser, Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. And by your local Chrysler Plymouth dealers. And by the Illinois State Lottery. Winning numbers are now drawn twice a week on Wednesday and Saturday. Play Lotto. And by your neighborhood True Value store. And by Toyota. Compare. It's Toyota, not the other guys. See your Chicagoland Toyota dealers. And by Empire, carpeting from $6.95 a yard installed, including polyfoam padding and delivery in 72 hours. And by Hertz. You don't just rent a car, you rent a company.
Live from Comiskey Park in Chicago, Illinois, it's the Oakland A's and the Chicago White Sox. The 2 starting pitchers, right-handers, Joaquin Andujar for Oakland, Richard Dotson for the White Sox. And good evening, everyone, and welcome to Comiskey Park. I'm Don Drysdale, along with Frank Messer. Happy that you've joined us tonight in game number 2 of this 4-game series. The White Sox winning last night by a score of 9-5. A little chilly out here tonight, but not like last night. And even so, in last night's chill, the White Sox, their bats got hot. They got excellent pitching from Neil Allen.
Well, that's very true, Don. It was a team effort. It was the kind of a ball game I'm sure manager Tony La Russa and his coaching staff enjoyed. It's a kind of a ball game that the Sox fans enjoyed. I was particularly impressed with Neil Allen. He pitched the farthest in a ball game he's gone since 1983 when he started with the Cardinals. He just ran out of gas in the 9th inning, but a tremendous effort.
It was a big effort, and right now the White Sox, they still find themselves 11 games under that 500 mark, and so I guess if there's a gold ring at the end of the chariot, you might say you're going to look for that 500 mark, and that's where they've got to get to right now before they really start anything.
Well, you have to be impressed, too, last night with the hitting. Harold Baines had 4 runs batted in. Cangelosi started getting on base again. Everybody contributed, and perhaps the Sox have turned that corner now. We know they're a better ball club than they have shown during the losing streak.
Well, we do know that, and we certainly hope things continue in the right fashion, the way they did last night. We get a good look at Joaquin Andujar, and he's a fiery right-hander and also a very good right-hander. The White Sox ready to take the field. Frank will give you the starting lineups.
All right, we're set to go here at Comiskey Park in Chicago on a rather foggy evening. The Oakland A's will have Tony Phillips leading off and playing third. Donnie Hill at second. Bruce Bhakti will be at first base. Jose Canseco in right field. Dave Kingman is the designated hitter. Dusty Baker will be in left field. Alfredo Griffin at shortstop. Bill Bate as the catcher. And Stanley Javier will be in center field. Pitching for the Oakland A's, Joaquin Andujar. It was undecided up until about half an hour ago whether or not Andujar would start. He's won 4. He has lost 2 in his previous 9 starts. Left his last couple of starts because of a hamstring injury. And he pitches to an earned run average of 3.86. And he will work to a Chicago White Sox batting order of John Cangelosi in center field, Tim Hewlett at third base, Harold Baines in right field, Greg Walker at first base, Bobby Bonilla in left field, Ron Kittle the designated hitter, Ozzie Guillen the shortstop, Joel Skinner will catch, and Julio Cruz will be at second base. Pitching for the Sox, Richard Dotson, making his 12th start of the year. He has won 3, he's lost 5, and pitches to an earned run average of 5.71. The umpires for tonight's ball game, Ken Kaiser will be at home plate, Steve Palermo at first base, Joe Brinkman at second base, and Terry Cooney is at third base. The wind is blowing in again. It'll be right in the face of the hitters here at Comiskey Park. Temperature of 57 degrees. The wind out of the northeast at 9 miles per hour. And the forecast is for fog here in the Chicagoland area. Richard Dotson has pitched 63 innings, allowed 73 base hits for the year. He's walked 33 and struck out 30 men, and as mentioned before, pitches to an earned run average of 5.71. Dotson picked up his third victory in his last start. We'll talk about that as we go along. That was up in Toronto against the Blue Jays. He'll be backed up with this defensive alignment: Bobby Bonilla in left, John Cangelosi in center, and Harold Baines in right. Tim Hewlett at third base, Ozzie Guillen at shortstop, Julio Cruz at second base, Greg Walker at first, and Joel Skinner the catcher. Same batting order and same lineup, really, that Tony La Russa used last night, and Jackie Moore, the manager of the Oakland A's, going with his same lineup as last night, with, of course, the exception of the pitchers. Quick peek into the Sox bench. There's Tony La Russa smiling a little bit tonight. Sox broke out with some base hits in the ball game last night. They had 13 base hits, scoring 9 runs and winning the ball game by a count of 9-5. Richard Dotson's last start really was a win in Toronto last Sunday. He won that ball game 6-4. That win snapped the White Sox 7-game losing streak. It was Dotson's most effective outing of the season. He worked 7 1/3 innings in the ball game, gave up just 3 earned runs and 7 base hits. He walked 2 and struck out 4 men. He's ready to go to work here on Tony Phillips, and ready with the play-by-play. Here's Don Drysdale.
Thank you very much, Frank, and once again, good evening, everyone. Richard Dotson ready to go, delivers high, and the count 1-0. We're underway. Tony Phillips hitting .288 with a pair of home runs. He has 25 RBIs. On deck, Donnie Hill. Outside, the count is 2-0. The outfield playing Hill to hit to the opposite field. Baines about straightaway right, maybe a shade to his right with Cangelosi in left center. So they give Hill, or I should say Phillips, the alley in right center field. There's a strike in the count, 2-1.
Phillips really a better hitter right-handed, Don, for average, but his power is as a left-hand batter, and that is true of so many switch hitters. They'll hit better for average right-handed and hit with more power left-handed.
Now you got to be alive with this little guy right here. About the time you go to sleep on him, why, he can sting you with a long ball or hit one in the gap somewhere. There's a ground ball in the hole. Walker there, throws to Dotson. Good play. They get him.
Well, we'll see this one again. Walker has trouble getting the ball, getting a grip on it. He makes a nice stop right there. He has trouble getting a grip on it. You see there, and he throws behind Dotson. Good play by Dotson to catch it and find the bag. We'll look at it from another angle. You like to lead your pitcher on a play like that. Really, Walker threw behind Dotson, and Dot is the one who made the play, really, in catching the ball behind him and still finding the bag in time to get Phillips.
Good play by Dotson. He's an excellent athlete. He bounces around well on the mound. As Donnie Hill stands in, hitting .333 with a pair of home runs. He has 11 RBIs. Ground ball the hole, over his Cruz, and from shallow right throws to get it.
Well, here it is. First pitch hitting is Donnie Hill. That ball is headed for the gap between first and second. Cruz, a nice move to his left, spins all the way around, gets a grip on the ball, and throws it on to Walker in plenty of time. Cruz making the play, the throw from shallow right field. 2 down on 2 ground balls.
Here's Bruce Bhakti. A modest 3-game hitting streak going for Bruce. Delivers a strike, and the count is 0-1. Bhakti hitting .254 with 4 home runs and 17 RBIs. Hewlett way off the line at third. Guillen well to his left at short. That's low. The count 1-1. Bob Didier coaching at third with Dave McKay at first for the A's. One ball and 1 strike the count. A little bit low, the count 2-1. On deck, Jose Canseco. Ground ball to Cruz. He has it, and he will go to Walker. And an easy 1-2-3 inning for Dotson. After the first half inning of play, Oakland nothing, the Sox coming up.
Well, the Oakland A's retired in order by Dotson in the top half of the first on 3 ground balls. And we'll see the White Sox coming to bat right now against right-hander Joaquin Andujar. You take a look at him just over from the National League. Very top-notch pitcher over there for the St. Louis Cardinals. 4 wins, 2 losses this year for the Sox, and for the Oakland A's, and an earned run average of .386. He's making his 10th start. He has 1 complete game. Pitched only 44 and a third innings, allowed 33 base hits, given up 15 walks, 21 strikeouts. He, of course, is facing the Chicago White Sox for the very first time in his career. Last year, he won 21 and lost 12 games. Most of his wins came in the early part of the season. In his career, he's won 114 and lost 103, and he's coming off a hamstring injury that has slowed him down quite a bit this year. Defensively behind him, Dusty Baker in left, Stan Javier in center, and Joe Canseco in right. Tony Phillips at third, Alfredo Griffin at short, Donnie Hill at second, Bruce Bochy at first, and Bill Bathe, the catcher again tonight for the Oakland A's. Andujar has not pitched since he started May 26th in Detroit. He had to leave that ball game after 1 inning when he re-injured his right hamstring. He first injured the hamstring on May the 12th. Hurt it again on the 26th, that has not pitched since. On the coaching lines for the Sox, Joe Nossick at third base and Ed Brinkman at first base. Andujar's wins this year have come against the California Angels, the Seattle Mariners, the Boston Red Sox, and the Milwaukee Brewers. He's ready to go to work as John Cangelosi, on base 4 times in last night's ball game, is set to lead off, and again it's back to Don Drysdale.
Now Cangelosi hitting .229 with a home run and 6 RBIs. On deck, Timmy Hewlett. Tony Phillips up on the grass at third. Bochy shortened up at first as Andujar gets ready to go to work and delivers just inside in the count 1-0.
Andujar may have been delivering a message right there in the first pitch. Don't square off and try to bunt against me. Might be a little wild inside.
And that's a little closer inside. The count 2-1. Andujar certainly, he's not adverse to coming inside either.
Well, that's the National League training. I think you find more National League pitchers work inside than you do in the American League.
Oh, no question. There's a strike, and the count goes to 2-1. Andujar, a good athlete. And I know one thing that Joaquin has to miss over here in the American League is being able to hit. That's a little high in the count 3-1. Andujar, a good hitter, and will hit from both sides, left-handed and right-handed. Lifetime, Andujar has won 114. He has lost 103. There's a strike in the count 3-2. You see him over there telling Phillips, hey, come on in, don't go back there too far.
Well, Cangelosi bunted with 2 strikes on him for a base hit his first time up last night.
And high and inside.
Well, we'll take a look at that 3-2 pitch. That was bearing right in on Cangelosi, and quick reflexes. He gets down and out of the way of it. Andujar has walked a man.
Joaquin averaging 3 walks per 9 innings pitched this year, as Timmy Hewlett will stand in with Harold Baines on deck. Phillips even with a bag at first as Andujar will chase Cangelosi back. There are the numbers on John Cangelosi, and just back in time. Cangelosi, 26 stolen bases. Andujar has a good move. He can throw from any angle, and he can put something on it. Hewlett hitting .273, 2 home runs and 12 RBIs. Angelosi trying to get a read. Again over there. Quick slap tag by Bhakti. And in the meantime, Timmy Hewlett waits at the plate. 1 for 4 last night. Timmy's hit safely in 8 of his last 11 ball games. And they call a balk. Ken Kaiser calls a balk on Andujar.
Well, he said there was a knee action. If a balk is to be called, you got to bet that Mr. Kaiser is going to see it. Usually it'll be a baseline umpire who will call a balk. Kaiser behind the plate tonight.
Watch the knees. He's going over there both ways. Well, I'll tell you, that's not really too bad. Both knees were breaking, but Andujar never said anything. And now he will concentrate on Hewlett. Out of play, and the count 0-1 with Baines on deck.
Andujar last year won his 12 out of his first 3 decisions for the Cardinals. We mentioned he wound up 21-12. The way he started off last year, he thought he might have been a 30-game winner.
There's a bunt attempt, first base side, foul territory. So Cangelosi will go back, and the count is 0-2 to Timmy Hewlett. Andujar's got some different moves out there. Now Bill Bay, the catcher, and Andujar will have a little chat.
Oh, by the way, we're talking about Bill's twin brother Bob in the Cubs organization. He used to be a catcher, but they made a third baseman out of him somewhere along the line.
That'd been hard for him to get in the lineup at the same time.
Yeah, it would have been, wouldn't it?
Well, I think kind of apropos right now, as you see the youngster talking to the veteran, and I'd like to pass along our congratulations to our partner Frank Messer, a grandfather for the first time. And congratulations, Frank.
Well, thank you very much, Don, and my son Rick and daughter-in-law Sandy, certainly thank you, and I offer my congratulations to them.
A ball and 2 strikes. Check that, no balls and 2 strikes. That time you saw Andujar dropping down from the side.
I'll tell you, sort of funny feeling to be sitting here with a daughter 4 years old of my first grandson.
Griffin trying to sneak in behind. They get him. Now Cangelosi picked off second base, and I told you Andujar has an excellent move.
Well, Cangelosi just learned about it the hard way, and here it is. He spins, good leg work, as that is so important in that play. And Cangelosi caught cold at second base. Here it is from a closer angle as Alfredo Griffin gets in between Cangelosi and the bag, and a beautiful pickoff throw by Andujar.
A ball and 2 strikes. Now 1 out in the White Sox first. Outside, the Andujar kind of limping coming off of the mound a little bit.
Well, it was the right hamstring that has bothered him for the past 2 or 3 weeks, and a matter of concern, I'm sure, right there to that man, Jackie Moore. He's going to go out there, and he wants an injury visit. He'll go to the plate umpire Kaiser first, and he'll want to take his trainer Barry Weinberg out. You saw it happen right there, and I don't know about Andujar. I don't know whether they're going to let him go on or not, Don. He's a very valuable piece of property. It would appear that he does want to stay, and they'll let him have a warm-up toss or 2. But We'll run a replay on that last pitch. It's the right leg now that has been bothering Andujar. That, of course, is the one he pushes off with. And right there, Don, on his follow through, it looks like, is where that twinge came.
Yeah. Actually, when he's pushing off and then bringing that leg up with him, drawing it up with him, that's where you can feel that. There's Rick Langford, I believe, down in the Oakland bullpen.
So it looks like.
So the count 2-2 to Timmy Hewlett. Bouncer, Andujar coming off of there very gingerly.
Now Moore's going to come out again. That's going to be it for Andujar, I think. Andujar says, no, I want to stay, but Jackie, I think, is going to take him out. I think he has seen enough. He doesn't want to risk a further injury to Andujar. Andujar talked him out of it once, but he will not talk him out of it this time. Moore just goes out there and says, Joaquin, that's going to be it. You are just too valuable to me over the stretch of this season to risk injuring that leg even more. So we will have Rick Langford coming on here in relief. And just Andujar doesn't look like he wants to come out, but he's out of the ball game. A pitching change being made. We're in the first inning. We'll be right back after this. Well, there's Joaquin Andujar down in the dugout, forced to leave the ball game because of a recurrence. I'm sure they'll make the announcement, a recurrence of the hamstring injury. Barry Weinberg, the Oakland trainer, there with him. Andujar does not want to go back in the clubhouse. I don't think he wanted to come out of this ball game, really, Don. It's hard to tell. We look at Rick Langford, will be making his second relief appearance. He started 6 games this year for Oakland on a record of 1-4.
Well, the big thing about that leg, and of course, it's the same as a groin injury, and you've got the groin injury, which is very tough for a pitcher, and of course that most of the time will come off of that back leg, the driving leg, and that gets to be impossible to work with. The hamstring, and of course that still is in that same area, and it's drawing that leg up. It's not so much pushing, it's the furthest point, the furthest extension of the push as you're driving off of that mound and then coming up. That's where you start aggravating it, as you, that last point of pushing and then coming up and bringing it to you. And that's where you just keep aggravating all the time, because you're always constantly pulling that leg. You got to pull that leg up. You can't leave it back at the rubber. And of course, with that extension and then the pull coming up, that's where it's going to really bother you. And of course, the biggest thing right there, and Jackie Moore is right, as much as Joaquin wanted to stay in the ball game, you've got to say that, hey, you get out there and start doing something different with your motion, you hurt your arm, and that isn't what we got you for. So we want something a little bit better than that. They will go to Rick Langford right here, the veteran right-hander.
All right, you saw the figures on Langford. He'll pick up a count of 2 balls and 2 strikes on Timmy Hewlett with 1 out and no score here in the bottom half of the first inning.
2-2 the count, 1 out. On deck, Harold Baines, and Langford ready to go to work. There's a line drive, little soft liner right at Tony Phillips. 2 outs. Well, there'll be quite a comparison in the styles of pitching between Langford and Andujar. Andujar certainly a power pitcher plus all the way. Langford, he'll just put a little bit on, take a little bit off, try and mix you up with the change of speeds, with his control. As Harold Baines stands in, hitting .305, 8 home runs, 33 RBI. And Greg Walker on deck. Baines spinning out of the way. Right there, Rick could have been better off staying at home. I'm sure he would tell you the same thing, although there could have been circumstances leading to that. There's a little off-speed pitch outside, and the count 2-0.
Well, he was 3-1 at home while going 0-4 on the road.
Up in the air goes Donnie Hill. The other side retired, and after one, no score.
Well, here's tonight's schedule in the American League. Couple of crafty left-handers there. McGregor against Guidry, Baltimore and New York. Toronto at Detroit, California at Cleveland. And Minnesota visiting Kansas City. Boston playing in Milwaukee. And the Seattle Mariners taking on the Rangers in Texas. The Mets are in Pittsburgh against the Pirates. The Cubs are at St. Louis. The Phillies in Montreal. The Braves will play the Padres in San Diego, Houston, and Los Angeles. And the Cincinnati Reds are playing the Giants in San Francisco. Well, the Boston Red Sox well, they're as hot as their name. Really, the Red Sox have won 8 out of their last 10 ball games and lead the Eastern Division of the American League by 4 games over the second-place New York Yankees. The Baltimore Orioles in New York trying to supplant the Yankees, move into second place. They trail New York by a game and 5 behind Boston. The Rangers with a half a game lead over Kansas City in our division. California a game and a half out, and Oakland 3.5 out. In the National League, the New York Mets a comfortable 8.5 game lead over Montreal in the East, and Houston just a game ahead of the Giants in the West. We'll talk more about the games being played elsewhere as we go along. Right now, our scoreless ball game goes to the second. Jose Canseco to lead off, and here's Don.
It'll be Canseco, Kingman, and Baker in that order. Dotson ready to go to work and delivers low. The count 1-0. Dotson had 3 ground ball out.
Let me ask you this. You ever see a home run hitter, a power hitter, get down on a crouch that low?
Well, a guy that there's a little fly ball into right center field, moving over Cangelosi, and now they look at one another and nobody catches it. So Canseco at second base with a double. One of those I got it, you take it, and Canseco stands at second base with a double.
Well, we'll take a look at it. After the first pitch, you see right there, Cangelosi had looked at Baines. Not on your picture, but Baines looked at Cangelosi, and the ball drops in sort of no man's land there. But those plays, if you're going to win ball games, you got to make the plays.
Yes, sir. As Dave Kingman stands in. Well, I was telling about a guy that hit for power, and goes back to Stan Lopata. There's a first pitch low to Dave Kingman. Lopata was he was probably about the size. Stan, I would say, maybe about 6'2". And he probably had a lower strike zone than Cangelosi.
Wow.
Or right in that area.
I never saw him play. So.
Oh, he was way down there. There's a high fly ball center field. Cangelosi moving into position and makes the catch. Canseco bluffs to third. Cangelosi gets it back into Guillen. One out to Dusty Baker. Dusty trying to break out of his slump. He is 2 for his last 14, hitting but 198 with a pair of home runs and 6 RBI.
On April 30th, Don, Dusty Baker drove in the 1,000th run of his major league career. He is still looking for 1,001.
Takes a strike, and the count is 0-1. On deck, Alfredo Griffin with Canseco at second. Well, Dusty's had a long career, good career. Right now, trying to get himself back in the right track. Outside, the count 1-1. Cleveland leading California 1-0. That's in the bottom of the third at Municipal Stadium in Cleveland. Ground ball the hole. He'll it over to plug it up. Looks the runner back. Throws wide. And Walker stays with it. Good play by Greg Walker.
Well, we'll take another look at it. Ball pulled right down the left side. Hewlett throwing on, and a nice one-hop play by Walker as he had to stretch up the right field line for it. Pays to have a big man over there at first base. Walker using all of his size to stretch out and play that ball on the short hop 2 down.
Here's Alfredo Griffin as a curveball is down low. The count 1-0. Griffin hitting .305 without a home run. He has 14 RBIs. Alfredo had a couple of doubles last night. Hit in 5 straight games. That's low. The count 2-0. On deck, Bill Bay, the catcher. You're right there. 13 of his 14 RBIs from the left side. And it's 3-0. Green line at 3-0 and fouls it left side. The count 3-1. There's Bathe on deck. Alfredo Griffin is playing in his 216th consecutive game. 16 or 17?
This will be number
17.
217.
There's a bouncer up and now a little looping liner, I should say, to Hewlett, and that'll do it. Now the side retired. No runs on a hit, no errors, and a man left, and after 1.5, no score.
No score here as we go to the bottom half of the second inning, and an invitation to make your plans now to attend a White Sox game with a group of your friends. Sox baseball is always more fun when it's enjoyed with a group, and the eager Sox sales team is standing by to take your group order and answer all your questions. Just call 924-1000 to reserve the best seats in the ballpark. That is 924-1000. That lady's name is Susan Lipen, is that right? She is a regular Sox fan out here, and what she does with those eyes, I tell you, it makes me dizzy just to look there. I got to turn around and look the other way.
Here's Greg Walker as he leads the bottom half of the second inning. It'll be Walker, Bonilla, and Kittle in that order to face Rick Lankford, on in relief of Joaquin Andujar, who had to give way with that hamstring. There's a strike in the count, 0-1. Greg at .313 with 6 home runs and 13 RBIs. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Out of play, the count 1-2. Pittsburgh leading the Mets 4-1 in the top of the 8th in Pittsburgh. That's the first of a doubleheader. Boy, you just don't see a lot of doubleheaders anymore, Frank.
No, you don't.
Have to be due to rainouts or things like that. In the air, left center. Javier moving over. Baker moving over. Javier taking charge, and he makes the catch.
Well, Greg gave it a long ride, but Javier was equal to the task. We'll take another look at it. The wind again is blowing in, and that's headed toward that little gap out there that Don talked about between the stands and the scoreboard last night. So wind helping to hold that ball up, and Javier there to make the catch.
Here's Bobby Bonilla hitting .250 with a home run and 13 RBIs. Outside, the count 1-0. Bobby with a couple of hits last night and a couple of RBIs. Now is fighting his way out of a little slump. There's a line drive into right center. That's going to drop for a base hit. So Bonilla's aboard, and it'll bring on Kittle.
Well, here's the Sox first hit of the ball game. Bonilla goes down and gets it and lines it into right center field. So Bobby, after sitting out the Texas Rangers series, had 2 hits last night and gets a base hit his first time up here tonight. And is that something new for Ron Kittle? The glasses there, Doug?
He's had glasses before. He hasn't been using them that much. There's a foul to the right side.
Well, 2 hits in his last 30 at bats. So Ronnie has dug them out, I guess. Maybe they're new ones. I really don't know.
I can't recall him wearing them any this year.
I can't either. In fact, I don't believe I ever saw him with the glasses on before.
One ball and 1 strike to count. Toronto jumping all over Detroit 8-0. That's in the bottom of the 3rd. On deck, Ozzie Guillen. Fouled at the plate, and the count moves to 1-2.
And looking out here, Rick Langford, 7-8 lifetime against Chicago with a .386 earned run average. Back in the early 80s, 1980, 81, and 82, Langford just pitched and pitched and pitched. In fact, he led the league in complete games pitched. 28 in 1980. He pitched 18 complete games again in 81, 15 in 82.
Got him looking. Strike 3 call.
And then came the elbow injury. And he has not pitched that much ever since. We'll take another look at that pitch. That is a good pitch. In fact, Langford in 1980 led the American League in innings pitched. He pitched 291 innings. That's almost unheard of anymore, Don.
It really is. He went out there and he pitched a lot of innings, but he's been fighting his way back ever since.
Well, the 3 years of that, maybe it's taken its toll on his arm and his elbow. I know he had surgery on the elbow.
Ozzie Guillen with the count 0-1. Outside, 1-1. Fouled out of play, 1-2 the count. Langford's biggest year, 1980, when he won that 19-12. On deck, Joel Skinner with Bonilla at first and Bhakti holding.
He relieved a couple of times that year, but he started 33 ball games and completed 28 of them.
Well, there's a lot of criticism over that.
Yep.
He's always had good control. The year that he pitched 291 innings, he only walked 64. There you see Bobby 3 for 4 in that stolen base department. 2-2 to Ozzie Guillen. 2 outs, no score, bottom of the 2nd inning. Hit foul. And the count remains 2-2. That ball hitting the edge of the dugout, rolling all the way back out to the second base umpire. Joe Brinkman looks at it, keeps it in play.
Next, we better check the dugout.
Nah. Baltimore 3-1 over the Yankees at Yankee Stadium. That's in the top of the 3rd. Down low, gets away from Bay, then down to second base goes Bonilla.
Well, we'll take another look at it. The pitch in the dirt, kicks off the left wrist or forearm of the catcher, Bill Faith, and on the wild pitch, Bonilla goes to second.
Now full count, 3-2 with Skinner on deck. Line, fair ball down Here comes Bonilla to score. Guillen to second. He holds there with a double. 1-0 White Sox.
Right, here it is again. Watch this ball hit. It'll hit right on the chalk line, right on the foul line, right there. Not touched by anybody. And Guillen, who last night broke an 0 for 21 with a base hit and drove in a run, puts the Sox on top here, 1-0. His 5th double and 15th run batted in of the year.
Here's Joel Skinner with Julio Cruz on deck. Inside and the count 1-0.
There again, the Sox also getting a big assist from the wild pitch.
That's low. The count goes to 2-0. Skinner with a 5-game hitting streak, hitting .218 with a home run and 8 RBI. Those lower parts of the lineup, although the Sox a little more glaring average-wise than the Oakland A's. Kittle at 195, Guillen at 215, Skinner 218, and Cruz at 167. You have Bathe at 185 and Javier at 178. Above that, Baker 198 and Kingman 204. Some people struggling with the averages as it's outside 3-0. There's Cruz on deck. High, and he walks him.
When you compare these two ball clubs, Don, the Oakland A's coming into this ball game with a team batting average of 251, and the Sox with a team batting average of 238.
Now here's Julio Cruz, the A's with 55 home runs and the White Sox with 35. Sox well up in that stolen base department, 55 to 38. It's fouled out of play and the count is 0-1.
Well, the man making a big difference right there is Joe Canseco in the home runs.
Canseco with 16, Kingman with 12, so right there you have 28 of the 55. Skinner at first, Guillen at second. Down low, the count 1-1. Ozzie can get a good lead, but you'd have to think that if he should think about going to third and Skinner should follow, that Bathe would go to second base. There's a strike in the count, 1-2. 1-0. White Sox on top. We're in the bottom of the second inning. Now they call time. They're the runners. You have Guillen at second with Skinner at first. A run on 2 hits for the White Sox. No runs on 1 gift hit for the Oakland A's. Down low, and the count 2-2. Oakland coming into tonight's game with a 25-29 record, 3.5 behind Texas. The White Sox 20-31. They are 7 back. Fly ball left field. Dusty Baker moving over. He is there, makes the catch, and the side retired. But the Sox come up with a run on 2 hits, no errors, and they leave a pair. And after 2, they lead it 1-0.
Well, this is Barbecue Apron night here at Comiskey Park. Looks like that group up there is already barbecued, got them dirty, washed them, and hung them out to dry. And Sunday you can come out and you got a pair of sunglasses to go along with your barbecue apron if you're here tonight.
And that will be to the first 15,000 fans who attend that game. They'll receive the free pair of sunglasses, compliments of Jovan, and of course for tickets call 559-1212. Use your charge card or stop by the Comiskey Park ticket office. Right here, the Sox on top, 1-0 through 2. Along with Frank Messer, I'm Don Drysdale. Happy that you joined us tonight as you look at Bill Bade leading it off here in the top of the third. And to call it for you, here's Frank.
Okay, Don, thank you very much. And Bade went 1 for 3 in last night's game. He's hitting 185. 5 of his last 11 hits have been home runs. He did. He went 0 for 2 last night. I said 1 for 3, and I'm mistaken. Ball and a strike to count on Bill Bade. And a strike called. 1-2. Toronto off to an early lead over Detroit, 8-0 in the 4th inning. Through the right side, that's a base hit. So Bade is on to lead off the top of the third. The second hit of the ball game for the Oakland A's. Texas leads Seattle 1-0 after 1. It's raining in New York. They're under a rain delay. Baltimore leading the Yankees 4-1. They're in the 3rd inning. We'll have all the scores updated for you. The bottom half of the inning. Line drive left center field. Cangelosi, good catch. Fine play by Cangelosi to retire Javier.
Cangelosi got a good jump on this ball. Line drive sinking. He wasn't playing that deep. Came on and made a fine catch.
So there's 1 out. Bade back to first base. And Tony Phillips will stand in. Phillips was out on a good play by Dotson covering. Taking a throw behind him from Walker in the 1st inning. The Sox have a 1-0 lead. Well hit, right field. Baines in pursuit, and he runs it down. 2 outs.
Well, a heavy night tonight with that fog, Frank, and of course the breeze blowing in a little bit. It's an excellent pitcher's night. That ball is not going to carry that well at all.
Well, you can sort of view the field as we do from our vantage point, and you can see the heavy atmosphere here in Comiskey. No matter where you are in Chicagoland, you're not seeing too far away, I'm afraid, with the fog and haze and so forth. Donnie Hill and Cruz way back in right field throws him out. So no runs, a base hit, and a man left on. Dotson sort of freezes in the middle of the 3rd. It's the Sox 1 and the A's nothing.
Well, we'll take a look at some of the scores for you. See that rain delay that Frank was talking about with Baltimore on top of New York 4-1 in the 4th. 9-0 Toronto over Detroit in the 5th. 1-0 Cleveland over California in the 5th. No score in the 2nd. Minnesota, Kansas City. Same at Boston at Milwaukee. And Texas 1-0 over Seattle in the 2nd. National League Game 1. First of a doubleheader in the 9th inning. Pittsburgh 4-1 over the Mets. Cubs 1-0 over the Cardinals in the 2nd. And Philly 8-4 over Montreal in the 4th.
And right here, the Sox lead the A's 1-0 as we go to the bottom half of the 3rd inning. John Cangelosi, Tim Hewlett, and Harold Baines will be up. Cangelosi drew a walk in the 1st inning. Got to second base on a balk called on starting pitcher Joaquin Andujar, and then Andujar picked him off second. One hopper right to the first baseman, and Bhakti takes it himself. Langford did not break that quickly over there, and Bhakti just went onto the bag unassisted.
Bhakti had one eye on that ball and one eye on Cangelosi. Then he just picked up the ball and he said, I better hustle. Because it looks like it's all mine.
Yep, it was all his. Tim Hewlett hit a line drive to the third baseman Phillips, his first at bat. Sox lead 1-0. Langford low with a fastball. And now high with it. 2 balls and no strikes. Seven of Tim Hewlett's last 11 hits have been for extra bases. Last 16 hits, 7 of 16. He's had 4 doubles, 2 triples, and a home run. 2 balls and 1 strike. And he catches the inside corner, does Rick Langford. 2-2. Foul ball back into the seats. Langford is a native of Farmville, Virginia. He grew up in Richmond. Well, let's see. That was his record last year in the month of June. He started 3 games last year, relieved 20 times. Hard shot, but right at the shortstop, Griffin. That was not that easy a play. Griffin made it look easy.
Well, I'll tell you, that was do or die right there. But Alfredo Griffin, he's one of the finer shortstops in baseball. As you see Langford get that pitch up over the plate right there. Just stick the glove down and it's either there or it isn't there. And then after that, it's academic.
Well, we have 2 outs and Harold Baines stands in, lined out to the second baseman his first trip. Harold hit the ball hard, and Donnie Hill went up in the air to haul it in. No balls, 1 strike. Slow chopper, foul. 0-2 the count on Harold. Baines came in tonight with a modest 4-game hitting streak. He went 2 for 3 and drove in 4 runs last night. Became only the 2nd Sox player this year to drive in as many as 4 in a ball game. The other being Ron Kittle. In the dirt. 1-2. Ken Geyser takes the ball out of play. Langford is 34 years of age. Originally signed in the Pittsburgh Pirate organization and made it up to the Pirates briefly in '76. Struck him out. First strikeout for Langford, and that retires the side in order. At the end of 3, the score: Chicago 1 and Oakland 0. Well, we'll go to the 4th inning. It is not raining here, but it's getting a little bit damper at Comiskey Park. You don't think so? Ask Carol Baines. Sox are leading by a score of 1-0, and it'll be Bhakti, Canseco, and Kingman coming to bat in the top of the 4th for the Oakland A's. Bhakti grounded out his first time up. So he is now 2 for 6 in the series, as you see there. Dotson up high, ball 1. One ball and 1 strike. Oh, that one dropped in there beautifully. 1-2. 98 career home runs for Bhakti. for this year. He's never really been noted as a home run hitter. As big as he is, he's more of a spray hitter. Hits the opposite field a lot, as he does there, but foul.
Frank, just a reminder while we have time that the White Sox and Coca-Cola would like to invite you to join the White Sox fan club. For just $10, you receive 2 free tickets to a season home game, invitations to all fan club sponsored events, and much, much more. For an application or more information, call or write to Comiskey Park.
1-2 pitch. Through to the backstop, 2-2. In his start up in Toronto, when he won his last ball game and ended the Sox 7-game losing streak, Dotson threw 107 pitches in the ball game. That was the most he has thrown in any game this year. He went the furthest in innings that he'd ever gone this year. Strike 3. That's all for Bhakti. And that will be the first strikeout for Dotson.
Well, Dot comes back inside, hits a good spot. Skinner sitting right there. You see that ball tailing back, and Ken Kaiser says that'll do it.
He's averaging 4.3 strikeouts per 9 innings this year. That will be his 31st strikeout of the season. Dotson tonight has not walked anybody. He has walked a couple of more than he struck out over the year. Here's Canseco. Ball on. Canseco got a double when his fly ball dropped in between Cangelosi and Baines in the 2nd inning. But Dot stranded him at second base, getting Kingman, Baker, and Griffith. Ball and a strike.
You know, there's a small thing now. People at home, a lot of people might think that, well, it didn't mean anything because they never scored. But in reality, all that does, it turns the lineup over. And if you're going to go and face each guy 3 times, 9 innings, that's 27 outs. A base on balls, an error, or a base hit, that means that that leadoff hitter is going to come up again. Anything over 1, that means the second place hitter is going to come up again. Anything over 2, that means the third place hitter. So we've got 2 base hits right now, so you're at least going to see Bhakti come up again for the 4th time tonight. That's what it means, turning that lineup over, and that's what you try and stay away from.
2-2 count now on Canseco. Just outside. 3-2. And the pitch. He walks. That'll be the first walk given up by Dotson. So a runner at first, 1 out. And the batter, Dave Kingman.
Well, it's nice to face this big guy right here when he is in a little bit of a slump, Frank, because when he gets hot, boy, he can put some tallies on the board in a hurry. And coming into tonight's game, Dave was 0 for 11, and flying to center field, he's now 0 for 12.
He still has hit 419 home runs in his career, 20th on the all-time list. Ball 1 high. A strike and the count 1-1. Kingman has driven in the winning run in the last 3 Oakland A's victories. Canseco down at first base. And now time called by the plate umpire. Ken Kaiser at Kingman's request. Dotson just follows through and pitches. No pitch. Kingman with something in his eye. Breaking ball grounded through the left side. Base hit, putting runners at first and second. I'll tell you, Dotson may be a little bit fortunate that ball's only a single.
Well, he got Dave out in front. He got it up and away from him, and all he did was turn the hands over. Watch it right here. See Dave out in front a little bit. There it is. That's just strength, and that ball shot through there in a hurry. Just overpowered the ball.
That'll be base hit number 3 for Oakland, and brings up Dusty Baker. The Sox are leading 1-0, but right here the A's are building a little trouble for Dotson.
Oh, he never got time.
Nope, Kaiser did not call time. Well, so that should be ball one.
That's what it is.
There's a case where Skinner's going to argue now. That'll be ball one on Baker. We've mentioned so many times a player cannot call time. He can only request time. It's the umpire who has to call it. So I'm going to say it is a 1-ball, no strike count. The scoreboard has nothing up. But I did not see Kaiser call time, even though Baker stepped away.
No, he did not call time at all.
Now first base umpire Palermo indicates it is a 1-ball, no strike count, and now 1-1.
Here's another guy that you're happy to see in a little bit of a slump. Dusty Baker.
2 hits in his last 15 at bats. Pitch to him. 2 balls and a strike. Canseco at second. Kingman at first. On the outside corner. And it's 2-2. There's your score. We're in the top of the 4th. Full count, 3-2 on Baker. Bob Didier, the third base coach, relaying a sign from the dugout.
Well, you really don't figure these 2 guys on the bases to run, Canseco or Kingman. Not all the speed in the world out there.
Now we'll see. They go, and it is hit in the air, shallow center field. That one's going to drop for a base hit. 1 run will score as Canseco comes across the plate, and Oakland has tied it up on a base hit by Baker, and that is his first run batted in since April 30th and the 1,001st of his career.
Boy, I'll tell you that. There they go, and Dusty gets it towards the end of the bat, and they had to be running right there for them to score because Cangelosi got on that ball in a hurry. Jackie Moore taking a little bit of a gamble right there, and it paid off. Tie game 1-1.
Yeah, then once they started running, they just kept right on going. So Baker, with his 7th run batted in, ties the ball game up, and Alfredo Griffin up with runners at first and third. Foul ball on the left side, and that is out of everybody's reach. Just wasn't hit high enough for either Hewlett or Guillen or Bonilla to get to it.
Interesting. I was watching the rotation of the umpires right there to see what was going to happen. Third base umpire Terry Cooney went down the line. Home plate umpire Ken Kaiser went to third, and Steve Palermo came to the plate from first base.
And there is 1 out.
That's right. But also Marty Springstead said that little definition of that thing from Kansas City. I can't repeat what he said.
That is foul. Pretty cute bunt attempt there by Griffin. So Kingman will go back to third.
There's a case right there. Alfredo just trying to get the ball down the first base line and get it by Dotson if he can make Walker feel it, and Kingman coming all the way. That was not the squeeze.
No. Bill Bate waiting on deck. No balls, 2 strikes. The count on Griffin. He lined out to Hewlett his first time at bat. 1 away. Bouncing ball left side. Go to second, 1. They got to get him at first. They got him, and the run does not score. So the double play gets him out. The Oakland A's have tied it, though, with a run, and in the middle of the 4th inning, it's Chicago 1, Oakland 1.
Now that's the story as we go to the bottom of the fourth. You know, most baseball fans have probably dreamed of playing against stars like Minnie Minoso, Billy Pierce, or Moose Skowron. Your dreams can become a reality at the second annual White Sox Rodman Renshaw Fantasy Camp and Investment Seminar. Next February 1 to 8, you can attend a week-long baseball fantasy camp in Sarasota, Florida. Plus, receive up-to-date investment. That's information from the experts at Rodman and Renshaw. So, for more information, call 924-1000.
That's right, Bun. I dreamed about hitting against you one time, and after one pitch, that dream became a nightmare.
No, you can have what it says here. You can receive up-to-date investment.
I'll tell you something, that fantasy camp, though, that's a great thing. As we look at Greg Walker leading off the bottom half of the fourth. 2 balls and no strikes.
They're fun, I'll say that.
They are fun, and the way the Sox run it with Rodman and Renshaw, it's educational, too. Hard smash played by Bhakti. This time Langford's over to cover, and Walker is gone. 1 out. That's a new twist on it, I think, having that investment seminar to go along with the fantasy camp.
Yeah, you look at it again, that little sinker tailing away from Greg and just pulling it right down to first baseman Bruce Bhakti. Stayed with it. And after that, what you do all spring if you're a pitcher, cover first.
Talk about his sinker. Some balls sink more than others. Bobby Bonilla takes a strike. Bonilla singled in the second inning and came in to score a run. So Bonilla now is 3 for 6 in the series. He had been only 6 in his last 42 at bats. That's a base hit. Oh, Bonilla's got his swing down pretty well. Second hit for Bobby Bonilla. The Sox have their 3rd hit of the game. So Bonilla here in the 4th, just like he did in the 2nd, with 1 out, rips a base hit.
Now there's a new Ron Kittle.
Yep, glasses are gone now. He looked at a called 3rd strike, didn't like what he saw. Now he took the glasses off and sends one foul down to the right field corner.
Well, I think Ronnie wears the contacts, and I'm sure that he said, well, I'm just going to go back the other way. Takes a while. You got to work on those to get adjusted to the regular glasses, back to the contacts.
Bonilla well back ahead of the throw. We're tied 1-1 here in the 4th inning at Comiskey Park. Safe again. Foul back off the mask of Bill Bate, the catcher. Ozzie Guillen is in the on-deck circle. Now Bate goes out to talk to Langford. The 2 managers, both with their backs to the camera at the moment. You saw Jackie Moore and now Tony La Russa. 1-1 ball game. Bonilla safe again. Nothing in 2. The count on Ron Kittle. 1-2. Well, let's see. Baker got his first RBI since April 30th. Maybe Kittle can hit his home run. First home run since the same date. Not this time. Ground ball to short, and everybody's safe as Alfredo Griffin very uncharacteristically boots the ball.
Well, he hit it off the end of the bat. Alfredo coming on. He wants to get the lead man at second, and he reaches in and he can't find the handle. And then reaches again and then can't find it again. Got to play at second if he comes up with it. For Griffin, that is his 11th error of the year.
Ozzie Guillen will step in with runners at first and second. Hard smash, right field, base hit. Kittle held up. Bonea's going to try to score. Throw into the plate, and Bonilla is safe, and the Sox lead it 2-1.
Well, Ozzie breaks his bat. A good throw by Canseco, and Bobby Bonilla's out because he did hold up. Now here's a throw by Canseco. It's up the third baseline. And there you see the catcher, Bill Bathe, go out to try and make the tag, and he missed him going by. There's a case if he would have backed up a little bit, he would have had a chance to get him. But you see so many catchers, and especially young catchers, they move up to catch the ball and have to come back to make the tag.
And really, if they just stay back there, the ball is going to get to them quicker, and they will make the play.
And we're going to have a pitching change right now. Mooneyham coming in to take over the pitching chores. So the error by Griffin has cost him a run. The Sox picked up a run in the second inning on the single by Bonilla, went to second on a wild pitch and scored on a double by Guillen. Now there's the case of just moving up a little bit to make the catch, trying to come back to make the tag, and a good slide by Bonilla. Could not do it, and the Sox have taken a 2-1 lead. We'll be right back. Now Bill Mooneyham coming on, a record of 1-0 and a 3.29 ERA, has made 17 appearances. This is his 18th game of the year. He has a save. He's worked in 27 1/3 innings, allowed 23 hits, 10 runs all earned. He has walked 23 and struck out 18. Young man, 6 foot, 175 pounder, born in Livermore, California. Last year with 3 clubs at Modesto 2-0, Huntsville 2-1, and Tacoma 2-6. So Mooneyham, his first year in the major league.
And he'll work to Joel Skinner, who walked back in the second inning. Runners at first and second, and the pitch high, ball 1. Mooneyham was the California Angels' first selection in the June 1980 draft secondary phase. Signed as a free agent by Oakland prior to the '85 campaign. Ball out of strike. Skinner with a 5-game hitting streak. Kittle out at second base. Guillen at first. And there's one out. We're in the 4th. The Sox are leading 2-1. Foul back out of play to the seats. Ball and 2 strikes, the count on Skinner. On deck hitter is Julio Cruz. Guillen has driven in both Sox runs tonight with a double and a single. Out of play again over the roof on the first base side. Last year at Tacoma, Mooneyham won 2, lost 6, posted an ERA of 4.18. Prior to that, he had pitched at Modesto and Huntsville. Left side. They got the no run at second base. The throw is dropped, and the Sox have the bases loaded.
Well, here's another play that should have been made at second base. You see Tony Phillips coming over, now tries to shot put it over there, and he just can't get it to Donnie Hill. There it is. Threw it into the runner. That'll be an error on the third baseman, Tony Phillips.
So the second error of the inning. The Sox have the bases loaded. Still only one out, and Julio Cruz the batter. The ball's a strike. Kittle at third, Ginn at second, Skinner at first. Cruz fly to left field in the second inning. Foul ball. 0-2 on Cruz. Foul back in the seats, got him off the hands. Count holds 0-2. Ron Kittle, your base runner at third base. Ozzie Ginn at second base. And Joel Skinner at first. The ball's 2 strikes. The count on the cruiser. Checked his swing and the fastball high.
Hey, Mooneyham's got a good fastball, Frank.
Sure looks like it. John Cangelosi is on deck. 25 years old, Mooneyham. That's out of play.
This is a lot different looking Oakland ball club when you get Dwayne Murphy out of the lineup, Mike Davis out of the lineup, Carney Lansford out of the lineup, Mickey Tettleton out of the lineup. That puts a pretty big hole in that ball club.
Defensively as well as offensively. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Sox have the bases loaded, 1 out. Opportunity to pad the lead a bit. So Julio Cruz, a big man right now as far as the Sox are concerned. Into left field, that's a base hit. That'll score Kittle, and the bases remain loaded. And the Sox now lead it by a score of 3-1. So Julio Cruz comes through with a key hit.
Well, he's just going to get the fastball over the plate for a strike, and he gets it up in the eyes of Cruz, and he just promptly lines it to left, and the runners move up 90 feet.
Base is still loaded with 1 out, and the top of the order will be coming up. There's Cruz down at first base. That's his second run batted in of the season. John Cangelosi now has walked and grounded out. Up high. Bases loaded with Ginn at third, Skinner at second, Cruz at first. All this happening after Walker grounded out to open the inning. One and one. The outfield is very shallow for Cangelosi. The third baseman Phillips well in on the grass. Griffin and Hill double played up. Now Griffin comes in at shortstop. 2 balls and a strike. There's the defense. Right now Griffin backed off. He'll come in a couple of steps before the pitch. Ball 3 is low. Ozzie Ginn. Joel Skinner second. Cruz at first. Bases loaded. Cangelosi is cast a look down at Joe Nossick to see if he must take here on 3-1. And he must and walks, and that'll force a run in. Cangelosi draws a walk. Guillen crosses the plate. And now the White Sox lead 4-1. Wes Stock, the pitching coach of the A's, on the phone to the bullpen. Well, the pitching coach, Wes Stock, going out to the mound. Not out there to make a pitching change, just to try to settle his young pitcher down.
Well, this is just a high fastball, that's all. Mooneyham has the sequence of pitches to Cangelosi. You could see different arm angles coming at Cangelosi, so that right there would give you a little bit of an idea of just the inexperience out there.
Left-hander Dave Leeper is up down the Oakland bullpen. And Tim Hewlett, the batter, with the bases loaded, the infield back double play depth. High, ball one.
Now he's starting to aim it. About the time you do that, Frank, somebody hits one 9 miles.
Well, back up to the box. They're going to get 2 here as Griffin steps on second and throws to first for the double play. But the Sox come out of the inning with 3 runs, and at the end of 4, the score is now Chicago 4 and Oakland 1. Every Monday night Sox home game in 1986 is a Sox half-price night. All box, reserved, and general admission tickets are half price. Our next Sox half-price night of the year is set for June 9th against the California Angels. That's right, California Angels coming in next. Get Joe Canseco out of here, and Wally World Joyner is going to be coming in. So we got 1 home run hitter following another one. Been no home runs tonight, but the Sox have a 4-1 lead over Oakland. And the A's will have Babe, Javier, and Tony Phillips coming to bat against Richard Dotson here in the 5th inning. And all set to pick up the play-by-play once again, Don Drysdale.
All right, Frank. Babe 1 for 1. He singled to the right side his first time at bat. Now Dotson ready to go to work. That's hit high to right. Baines giving ground, still going back to make the catch.
Well, we'll take another look at it. This ball gets up there and just keeps on going and going and going. Watch Baines. He'll have to use the entire ballpark and then leave his feet right there before he gets to the wall to make the catch. He had another stride to go. And Bates, I'll tell you, that ball carried pretty well out there to right field.
Hit that ball well. High fastball up over the plate. And that will bring on Stan Javier. Line to left center with Cangelosi making a fine catch on it. Bunt attempt. And that'll roll foul. So Javier comes back and the count is 0-1. 4 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the White Sox. A run on 4 hits, 2 errors for the A's. 2 of the Sox 4 runs unearned. Langford went 3 innings, allowed 3 runs. Make that 4 runs, and 2 of those earned. Change in and over. 0-2 the count. Up the middle, there's Cruz on the big hop, and they get him. Two outs to the leadoff hitter, Tony Phillips. Reigning in St. Louis in the 3rd inning with the Cubs leading the Cardinals 2-0. Pittsburgh defeated the Mets 7-1 in that first game of the doubleheader. Bottom of the 6th, Baltimore 4-1 over the Yankees. Philly 9-7 over Montreal at Montreal, the bottom of the 6th. Move high, 1-0 the count. Still 1-0 Cleveland over California in the bottom of the 7th. Kansas City 5-0 over Minnesota in the top of the 4th at Kansas City. That's hit high to right field, way back. Baines going back, has a play right to the wall and makes the catch. So the side retired quickly, 1-2-3 into the bottom of the 5th, 4-1 White Sox.
The broadcast rights to this game have been granted to SportsVision by the Chicago White Sox solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any reproduction or other use of this program without the expressed written consent of SportsVision is prohibited.
Here's Harold Baines as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. 19,880 in attendance tonight. High, 2-0. Bouncer to Donnie Hill. Little country club hop. 1 out. And that will bring on Greg Walker 0 for 2. Fastball for a strike to Walker. 0-1 the count. Greg has flied to center and bounced to first with the pitcher covering. Infield, outfield, straight away for Walker. There you see your defensive alignment for the A's. Broke his bat. Short hop by Alfredo Griffin. Throws him out. 2 outs to Bobby Bonilla. Bonilla 2 for 2 tonight with 2 runs scored. Jams him with a fastball. There's Donnie Hill. And a quick, easy inning for Mooneyham. And we're through 5, 4-1 White Sox.
On Saturday, June 21st, when the Sox take on the Seattle Mariners, the first 15,000 kids 14 and under who attend the game will receive a free mug featuring the White Sox mascots, Ribby and Rhubarb, compliments of Kool-Aid. So come on out here, get your mug. You can dance in the aisles just like these folks are. All kids with a ticket who bring 5 Kool-Aid envelopes or 1 canister wrapper to gate 9 at 10:30 in the morning will be admitted to a special clinic conducted by White Sox players and coaches. That's Saturday, June 21st.
Here's Donnie Hill to lead it off. 0-1 the count. Hill has bounced the Cruz twice. 0 for 2 tonight. Donnie starting the night at .333. Takes a strike, 0-2. Had it safely in 4 of 5 and 6 of his last 8. Count remains 0-2 as you look at Bhakti on deck. He'll be followed by Canseco. Outside, 1-2 the count. Bouncer, Dotson up in the air. 1 away. And that'll bring on Bhakti. The pitching matchups for the remainder of the series. It'll be Joe Cowley and Chris Cotaroli tomorrow night. Joel Davis on Sunday against Kurt Young. Don't forget, tomorrow night, a 6 o'clock start. And the fireworks show right after, and will be coming your way on WFLD TV and the Chicago Television Network. That is down the line. 0-1 the count. And back on SportsVision on Sunday afternoon. Dotson trying to pick up his 77th career win tonight. A record of 76 and 64 coming into tonight. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Loop to left center. Bonilla got a late start. Now comes on to make the catch. 2 outs to Canseco.
I tell you, look at Bonilla out there. No matter where you play him, he seems to do a pretty good job, whether it be in left field, right field. I've seen him play center field, and was early in this year when Walker was hurt, we saw him at first base.
Got great instinct. And boy, I'll tell you, it's hard to teach that. Canseco has doubled. He walked and has scored the only Oakland run. Can get the breaking pitch. 0-1 with Dave Kingman on deck. Shot, base hit, left field. Now Dotson trying to sneak the fastball by Canseco, and he rips it to left. And it's hit number 5, and that'll bring on Kingman.
This kid Canseco doesn't hit anything easy, does he?
I haven't seen him hit too many easy.
Everything seems to jump off the bat.
Got a lot of power, as does this man right here, Dave Kingman. Dave 1 for 2 tonight. Now all 3 infielders on the left side as Kingman takes a strike. Now they put the shift on for Dave. There you see on the left of your screen, Hewlett in the middle, Guillen, far right, Cruz, and Walker and Canseco having a little chat at first base. There you see nothing. Outside the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. Dusty Baker on deck. And the pitch is inside. The count goes to 2-1. Texas leading Seattle 3-0, top of the 5th down at Arlington Stadium as you look at Dusty Baker. Baltimore over the Yankees 4-2, top of the 7th in New York. Toronto jumping all over Detroit 12-1. There's a strike and the count goes even 2-2. Well, they got a dandy going in Cleveland 1-0. The Indians on top of California, bottom of the 8th inning. Schramm and McCaskill. Threw his bat at it, couldn't get it, and the side is retired. No runs on a hit, no errors, and a man left to the bottom of the 6th, 4-1. White Sox.
Up here tomorrow night, fireworks after the ball game with Oakland, sponsored by Yago Sangria. Game starts at 6 o'clock. Fireworks to follow right here at Comiskey Park tomorrow night.
Here is Ron Kittle. Takes a little bit low. The count 1-0. Kittle 0 for 2 tonight. Struck out, then was on an air and scored. Outside, 2-0. Fouled away, 2-1.
Mooneyham, a California native, born in Livermore. Attended Merced Community College. Now lives in Atwater.
3 balls and a strike.
I'm just looking through this Oakland roster here to see if I find anybody on this ball club who was not born in California. There are a few, but not many.
Now Kittle draws the walk. Second walk issued by Mooneyham. Mentioned before, is the Angels' #1 selection in the June free agent draft of '80.
He never made it up to the California club. He went through their farm system, and then the Oakland A's signed him as a free agent at the start of the '85 season.
Wonder how he got to be a free agent.
Well, I'm trying to figure it out here.
Hey, he's got a good arm. And just a baby, 25 years old. Runner goes. Alfredo Griffin, and the long throw over the head of Bhakti, and that'll be another error on Griffin. So Kittle to third and Guillen to second.
Well, you'll see Griffin go deep in the hole to field this ball. Still figures he's got to play over at first base. Backhands it. About 4 steps on his momentum there. Both feet in the air as he throws it way over the head of Bhakti. Ball hits in against the dugout, bounces back out. So a base hit for Guillen and an error charged to Alfredo Griffin, allowing the base runners to take an extra base. Kittle to third and Guillen to second. And Guillen now, Don, 3 for 3 in this ball game.
And that is the third Oakland error. The infield will come in to Joel Skinner with Julio Cruz on deck. Foul right side, 0-1.
Ozzie Guillen broken 0 for 21 last night with a base hit, and tonight he has gone 3 for 3 and has half the Sox total of 6 hits.
Inside, the count 1-1.
He's still trying with that mustache too, huh?
Still trying. That's out of play. The count 1-2. Struck him out. First strikeout by Mooneyham, and that will bring on Julio Cruz.
Well, we'll take a look at it. Just looks like a fastball inside on him there a little bit. They have just nicked that one foul into the mitt. And the first strikeout for Mooneyham.
Cruz is 1 for 2 with an RBI tonight.
They sure play Cruz around to the left side in the outfield. If he pulled one to right field, he could run for a while. So could everybody else.
Off of the glove, and everybody's going to be safe.
Well, we'll take another look at it. Hit right back up the middle. If that ball is not touched by Mooneyham, it is played, but he deflects it away from both Griffin and the third baseman. As Phillips overran the ball trying to pick it up, it's a base hit, a run batted in for Cruz as Kittle is in to score, and the Sox now lead 5-1. I'll tell you, the lower men in the batting order doing a good job here tonight, Don. Between them, Guillen and Cruz have driven in 4 runs.
Well, they did all right last night, too, Frank. And Skinner scored a run. Cruz scored a pair. Guillen knocked in a run with a base hit. And again tonight, you're right. Oh, and 1 to Cangelosi with runners at first and third. Guillen at third with Cruz at first. Timmy Hewlett on deck. Cangelosi has walked twice, and he's bounced to first. He's 0 for 1. There goes Cruz. Nope, he bluffed. Donnie Hill goes the lead man at second. That's all. Guillen scores. Cangelosi's aboard. And the Sox pick up another run at 6-1.
Now we'll take a look at it from center field. Pitch down low, and it's bounced down to the second baseman Hill. He feeds it to Alfredo Griffin for the force out. On Cruz at second base. Guillen comes in to score. Cangelosi credited with his second RBI tonight. And the Sox are now leading by a score of 6-1.
Here's Timmy Hewlett. Throw, pitch out. Cangelosi going nowhere. Almost threw that one right to the backstop. Hewlett 0 for 3. A little bit low. The count 2-0. Saying thank you for the webbing. Two and 1 the count.
Well, Don, I've just decided one thing. We look at Harold Baines waiting on deck. I'm going to know that summer has come to Chicago when I come out here to Comiskey Park one night and Tim Hewlett is not wearing the turtleneck that I wish I had on right now.
Timmy is a good weather vane.
He sure is.
Ground ball the hole. There's Griffin. He goes back to Hill. They get the force, and that is all. So the White Sox are retired in the 6th, but they come up with 2 more runs on 2 hits in air, and they leave a man. And we're through 6. 6-1 White Sox. Well, right here at Comiskey Park, it's 6-1 White Sox, and let's go to Municipal Stadium in Cleveland. Bottom of the 8th inning, Brett Butler aboard. McCaskill pitching for California. Joe Carter the hitter, and he hits it a ton way back in left field. And that is back up on top in the second deck. And Cleveland in a final defeats California by a score of 3-0. Ken Schramm all the way to win it. Right here, the White Sox on top 6-1. Along with Frank Messer, I'm Don Drysdale. We go to the 7th, and once again to call it for you, here's Frank.
Dusty Baker 1 for 2 in the ball game tonight. Don will lead it up. Richard Dotson on the hill for the White Sox, and he gets a breaking ball over for a called strike 1. 0-1 count. That'll even the count at a ball and a strike. Dusty Baker in 1977, one of 4 Dodgers, hit 30 home runs that year. Fly ball, shallow right center. It's going to be Baines. And there's 1 out. And that will bring up Alfredo Griffin, who is 0 for 2 tonight. He is lined out and grounded into a double play. Ball 1. Dotson tonight has walked 1 man. He has struck out 2 in the ball game. Griffin had a notion, took the pitch. 2 balls and no strikes. Taking all the way, and the count is 3-0. Well, if he took 2-0, he's got to be taking 3-0. And draws a walk on 4 pitches. Second walk allowed by Dotson. The other walk came in to haunt him as Joe Canseco walked in the 4th inning and came in to score the lone run for the Oakland A's. Bill Bate, the catcher, 1 for 2 tonight. He has singled to right field, and then he sent Baines all the way back to the wall to haul in his long drive in the 5th inning. That ball well hit to left field. Back Bonilla, got his eye on it. He's got room and makes the catch. 2 down. We'll have an update on scores for you when we go to the bottom half of the 7th inning. We're in the top half right now with 2 outs. A runner at first. Sox out in front by a score of 6-1, and Dotson will work to Stan Javier. Javier is lined out on a good catch by Cangelosi and grounded out to second baseman Cruz. Hewlett plays him well in on the grass at third, and he looks at a ball down low. The Sox have not really worn the baseball out tonight, but nonetheless they lead 6-1. And that is the bottom line. 2 balls and no strikes. There's Tony La Russa with his pitching coach and very close personal friend Dave Duncan at his right shoulder. Strike called. Well, you know, this is a very, very important date in history. Of course, it is the anniversary of D-Day, 1944, a day that changed the course of world events. And it was also on this date in 1933, whether you realize it or not, a very important thing happened. It happened in Camden, New Jersey. The first drive-in movie theater opened. That also changed the course of a lot of folks' lives. Bonilla's after it, and he's got it. Bobby Bonilla with a fine catch going to the wall in foul territory, and that will retire the side. The A's leave a man on, and at the end of 6 1/2, the score, Sox 6, Oakland 1.
Now there's some scores. Baltimore 4-2 over the Yankees in the 8th. 12-1 Toronto over Detroit in the 8th. Cleveland beat California 3-0. 5-0 Kansas City over Minnesota in the 5th. 1-0 Boston over Milwaukee in the 5th. 3-0 Texas over Seattle in the 5th. Just the American League scores.
And Harold Baines set to lead off the bottom half of the 7th inning. The Sox are leading by a score of 6-1 here. Winniham's first pitch is fouled straight back. Baines has lined out, struck out, and grounded out. He's facing this youngster for only the 2nd time. Ball and a strike. Mooneyham relieved in the 4th inning. Joaquin Andujar started the game. He faced only one batter. Two balls and a strike. Andujar leaving the ball game after again injuring his right leg. I did not hear an official announcement on it, but I'm sure that is what it was. The hamstring injury popped up again while he was pitching to Hewlett. Good fastball there, and the count is 2-2. Andujar walked Angelosi, balked him to second, then picked him off. But while he was pitching then to Hewlett, he re-injured his leg. High, 3-2. Langford came on to pitch. Then Mooneyham relieved Langford in the 4th. Sox have 6 runs on 7 hits. The A's 1 run on 5 hits, and the A's have committed 3 errors. Bouncer left side. Phillips has it and makes his throw in plenty of time.
Yeah, there's some National League scores. The first of a doubleheader, Pittsburgh over New York, 7-1, 2-0 Mets in the first inning of the second game, 2-0 Cubs over the Cardinals in the third, 9-7 Philly over Montreal in the sixth, and there you see just starting Atlanta, San Diego, Houston and LA, Cincinnati, San Francisco.
1 out, and Greg Walker bats inside. Greg is 0 for 3 tonight. Fly deep to center, grounded out to first, and bounced out to short. That's out of play. You know, Don Drysdale was talking about the first drive-in movie theater opening on this date in 1933. When I was younger.
Don't tell me you were there.
No. 2 down as Hill throws out Walker. When I was going to junior college, I had a job in a radio station that paid me $55 a week, but I had a season pass to a drive-in theater.
Hey, what more can you?
That was worth more than the $55, I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
Bobby Bonilla. Ball one. The Dreamland Drive-In. Bonilla's had a couple of hits tonight. Count is 1-1 on him. He's scored 2 runs, 2 for 3 in the ball game. Ball and 2 strikes. You look at this youngster Mooneyham out there. You commented on his fastball earlier. Don, looks to me like all he has to do is start challenging hitters, and he's going to be all right.
Well, I'll tell you, he's got an awful lot to start working with. Got a good live arm.
Fouled away.
That's why I'm just sitting here trying to figure out as much California needs in pitching. How this young man just became a free agent.
Well, he was a lot like that kid we saw down in Texas. He used to be very wild, I know. In the air, center field, not too deep. Long run in for Javier, and he makes the catch. 3 up, 3 down. We've completed 7 here at Comiskey, and the Sox are leading it 6-1. Well, it looks like we have a chef's convention down there. These folks wore their chef's caps to go right along with that barbecue apron that was given to the fans out here tonight. Now, where is the result of their labors? Where is the barbecue?
Down underneath in the picnic area, Frank, maybe.
That's where it is. Well, they're having a good time out here, and you'll have a good time every time you come out to Comiskey Park. And you can also come out and get a free Polaroid photo taken with your favorite Sox star Sunday afternoon, the next Jovan Photo Corner day. Sox players available beginning 1 hour and 15 minutes prior to the start of every weekend afternoon game to take their picture with you. And the next opportunity will be this Sunday afternoon. So why don't you come out and Get your picture taken with your favorite Sox star. We go to the 8th. Sox lead at 6-1. Here's Don.
All right, Frank. Tony Phillips will lead it off. He takes a strike. He is 0 for 3 tonight. Has bounced at first and line hard to Baines in right, then fly deep to Baines in right. One ball and one strike to count. Last night, Phillips, quite a difference in day games to night games. At 294 at night, 254 in the day. Donnie Hill on deck. Two and one the count. Boston 1-0 over Milwaukee. Boy, there's Roger Clemens again. Bottom of the 6th inning. High 3-1. Shot. Walker spins it around to Cruz. Underhands to Dotson, and that's it. Little highlight. Watch this right here. Here's a rocket hit by Phillips. Comes up on Walker, spins it around to Cruz, underhands to Dotson, and Dot steps on the bag. Whoop, he dropped the ball, and they call him safe. Look at this. That's an error on Dotson. Yeah, there's a tough. Dot just closed the glove. So that'll be an error on Richard Dotson. Sox first error of the night, and that'll bring on Donnie Hill. The A's have made 3. Ground ball to Walker. He knocks it down and steps on the bag. That got him right around the chin or somewhere in that vicinity. Walker saying, come on, boys, what are we doing here? There's Nelson and McKeon in the bullpen as Bruce Bochy will stand in. Now watch this last play to Greg Walker. Big guy goes down, comes up, gets him right in the bread basket, picks it up, and that's as far as he can go. There he is. Now Phillips at second, and here's Bochy. Jose Canseco on deck. There's a line drive, base hit right field. Here comes Phillips. He's going to score. Baines throw cut off by Walker. No chance to get Phillips. And it's a 6-2 ball game. Now give Bochy a base hit, his 18th RBI of the year. That'll be an unearned run. Bruce just turns on it. And Phillips scoring easily. Ball cut off by Bochy, and that'll bring on Canseco, and here comes Tony La Russa. White Sox on top, 6-2. Mentioned before, 3 of those Oakland Airs have accounted for 3 unearned runs for the Sox, but they will take it, and right now that is a very big edge for the White Sox. On top by 4. Dotson, La Russa, Skinner, Walker. Dot says he's okay. And La Russa back to the dugout. Here's Jose Canseco. He is 2 for 2 tonight, a double, a single, a walk, and a run scored. On deck, Dave Kingman. Takes a strike, 0-1.
All right, now, Don, the Sox have the luxury they have not enjoyed too much of late, and that is having a 4-run lead in this stage of a ball game.
1-1 to count. Last year, Canseco, just 21 years of age, between AA, AAA, and the Major League club, the Oakland A's, he had 41 home runs, had 140 RBIs. This should be 2. They go to Cruz, back over, dug out by Walker, and the side is retired. A run unearned on a hit. 1 error, nobody left, and we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. 6-2 White Sox.
Well, the first 15,000 fans 15 and over on Friday, June 20th, attending the game will receive that beach towel, courtesy of the Illinois State Lottery. The Sox will be playing Seattle. Don?
And the first pitch to run, Kittle is fouled off. 0-1 the count. 6-2 White Sox. We're in the bottom of the 8th. Joe Cowley, Chris Cotaroli tomorrow night. Foul right side. Bhakti moving over, and he runs out of room. 0-2 the count.
Just trying to find out about this youngster Mooneyham, Don. We were wondering about his availability. Signed as a free agent. The California Angels released him after a season at Edmonton. They became a bit disenchanted with him regarding his control and the fact that he evidently had some kind of a nagging injury that would not let him go out there regularly. So he was released by the California Angels, and the Oakland A's jumped on him, signed him as a free agent. Looks like they have a pretty good property.
Well, I would say so. He's got a good arm, good looking arm. That's out of play, and the count 1-2. Two and 2 the count. Struck him out.
All right, here's the last pitch to Kittle as Mooneyham logs his second strikeout. Getting back to that last year he pitched in the Angel organization, 1984 at Edmonton. He won 5 and lost 3, but he had a high earned run average of 5.94. Pitched 73 innings, but allowed 99 hits. He walked 46 and struck out 40 men. Had 14 starts, 2 relief appearances, and then he was released.
There's a little looper into left center, coming on Javier right there. Ozzie Guillen retired. 2 outs to Joel Skinner. You just don't see guys like that. You got to figure, you know, there's something in that background. I'll be anxious to see when California comes in here to ask Gene Mauch about what happened. You don't see guys with that kind of an arm all of a sudden just released.
Well, I don't know.
And if you do, you like to be somewhere, the right place at the right time to get their name on the dotted line.
Well, obviously, Oakland was in the right place. They got the name.
That's it. There's a bouncer as Donnie Hill makes a play, and from shallow right, throws Skinner out. So 1, 2, 3, and we're through 8. 6-2 White Sox.
The next White Sox game on SportsVision will come your way Sunday afternoon at 1:30 when the Sox play the same Oakland A's. Starting pitcher is scheduled to be right-hander Joel Davis with a record of 2 and 3 for the Sox, and left-hander Kurt Young, who has won 4 and lost 1 for the Oakland A's. That'll be Sunday afternoon at 1:30, and that game will wind up the 4-game series between the Sox and the A's. And on Monday night, you'll have a chance to ask Gene Mauch any question you want to, Don. He'll be in here with the California Angels.
Yeah, I've seen my neighbor, my golfing partner.
Ah.
Here's Dave Kingman, 1 for 3. High pop foul. Richard Dotson has a relatively easy ball game going for him tonight. Dot has not thrown that many pitches. He's pitched a fine ball game. After victory number 4, Just outside, the count 1-1. One hopper. Ozzie Guillen has it, and the throw to Walker in time. One out to Dusty Baker, who's 1 for 3. There's Ozzie, goes back, plays that one hop line drive. Easy play right off the left shoulder.
Well, if Don is able to get the last 2 outs in the ballgame, Don, it'll be his first complete game pitch since September 26th of 1984.
Boy, that's something. Here's Baker. Takes high, the count 1-0.
And it will certainly be a big boost to this ball club.
Up the middle, and that will be a base hit. So Baker, a couple of hits tonight. And that will bring on Alfredo Griffin. That is the 7th hit for the A's. The Sox have 7, but the Sox on top 6-2. The A's outscore them 3-1 in the air department. Here's Alfredo Griffin. He's had a pair of errors tonight, and he is 0 for 3. Bob James and Joel McCune in the bullpen. Pop foul out of play. Moving over Timmy Hewlett. Still moving, and he'll run out of play. There's Ozzie Guillen right there.
If Dotson wins this ball game, and he's got a pretty good leg up on it, it would be his first win over Oakland since September 28th of 1983. And his first win over him here in Comiskey Park since September 20th of 1981.
And it will even his record lifetime mark with the A's at 6-6. Good change. 0-2 the count. And Dot with a win tonight. That'll make it 2 in a row for him. Right there, you see the longest outing of the year, but he has not really thrown that many pitches. I don't know if we're in contact with Jeff Chaney tonight or not. We will find out how many pitches that Mr. Dotson has thrown. That ground ball knocked down by Guillen, goes to Cruz, a little high.
Well, give Guillen an E for effort on that one. He made the diving stop, then tried to get a handle on it, made a desperation flip back toward Cruz. There it is again. He loses the ball out of his glove, kicks it with his knee, grabs it, throws it back, but his flip is just over Cruz's head. And it'll be a base hit for Griffin. Here one more time. You see, the ball off the glove hit him in the knee, kicked away, but he grabbed it, and as he flipped it back-handed, really, to Cruz, he just flipped it over his head. And La Russa's on his way out, and I don't know whether we're going to see a complete game or not. Dotson up in Toronto, Don, on Sunday, threw 107 pitches. La Russa is going to the bullpen. So Dotson can certainly hold his head up as he threw 105 pitches. Pitching 8 1/3 innings here in the ball game tonight. Gets the acclaim of the crowd, and an excellent job done by Richard Dotson. And with a pitching change being made, we'll be back in a moment. Well, Bob James is on to pitch, a record of 2 wins and 4 losses. He'll be making his 27th relief appearance of the year. 7 saves for the big right-hander, 31 1/3 innings, 10 walks, 17 strikeouts, 6 home runs. And 3 of those 6 have come in 3 of his last 4 outings. He faced 2 men last night in relief of Neil Allen. Gave up a fly ball to Jose Canseco, sacrifice fly, and induced Dave Kingman to ground to shortstop Guillen for the last out in the ball game. So Bob James pitching 2/3 last night, facing 2 batters. The Canseco drive. Pretty good ball. It would have fallen foul. And he'll work to Jerry Willard, who comes off the bench as a pinch hitter. And Willard, as a pinch hitter last night, had a 2-base hit in the 9th inning of the ball game. So it's not over yet, folks. The Sox are leading 6-2, and here we go with 1 out in the top of the 9th. Don?
Now here's Willard. Baker at second and Griffin at first. High 1-0. Joe McCune throwing behind James. And it's 2-0. Two balls and a strike to Willard. Stan Javier on deck. Last night he faced Canseco and Kingman, got a fly out and a force play. Outside, it's 3-1. Foul back and a full count of 3-2. There's Mike Davis on deck, so evidently Davis is close to being ready to come back. He will hit for Stan Javier. Boy, he can be a good one. Mike Davis. That's hit hard up the alley in right center. Long way to go. No one's going to get it. It'll go to the wall. Here comes two to score. Willard to second. He will stop there with a double. It's a 6-4 ball game.
Well, we'll take another look at it. He jumps on the fastball and drills it. By the time Cangelosi gets it off the base of the wall, 2 runs are in. And Willard, for the second night in a row, has doubled as a pinch hitter. And that may be all for James. Davis announced into the ball game. He's a left-hand hitter, and here's LaRussa, and he wants McCune. So now the tying run will come to the plate here in the 9th inning, and Tony LaRussa will take the baseball from James and hand it to Joel McCune.
Well, Bob Davis leaves. McCune comes on. Bob James, I should say. Let's take a look at the standings right now as James goes to the dugout in the American League. Starting tonight, Texas on top. A half a game and 3 over the 500 mark over Kansas City. Kansas City winning tonight, so they got a chance to go 3 over the 500 mark. California, they got beat. They'll go under. Oakland, 25-29, 3.5 back. The White Sox, you see, 20 and 31. All the bottom 3 just with 20 wins. And the American League East, Boston, boy, they are, Frank said a while ago, just what they say. Boston Red Sox, they are red hot. 36 and 13. 4 over the Yankees, 5 over Baltimore. See Milwaukee, 1 over the 500 mark at 26-25, followed by Detroit, Toronto, and the Cleveland Indians.
Well, taking a look at the National League West, Houston a game and a half ahead of the Giants, with Atlanta 3.5 out. San Diego 4.5 out, the Dodgers 6.5 out, and the Reds in last place, but still only 8 out. The Mets with an 8.5 game lead over the second place Montreal Expos. I think you're almost going to have to concede the East to the Mets and let everybody else battle for second, third, fourth, and fifth. Here's Joel McCune as we get back to our ball game. He'll be On his 14th game, 2 wins and no losses, and a very fine earned run average for McCune of 0.77. 11 2/3 innings pitched, 5 hits, 7 walks, and 5 strikeouts. He last pitched night before last in the final game against Texas. He pitched 1 inning in the ball game and retired all 3 men that he faced, striking out 1 man.
Now Mike Davis is going to come on with Willard at second. Mike Davis hitting for Stan Javier with Tony Phillips on deck, a switch hitter.
Well, you can see those 4 home runs posted there for Davis, and Jackie Moore is going for the long ball right here.
Well, the A's have out-hit the Sox tonight 9-7, but the Sox still on top 6-4. But the tying runs at the plate. Ground ball, just foul. Before this Oakland ball club, when Davis not in the lineup, Lansford, Dwayne Murphy, Mickey Tettleton, it's a little different looking ball club, and it's going to be interesting to see when they all come back. Of course, Davis back now tonight. 0-1 the count. Ground ball, this time it's fair. Walker will go to the bag and do it himself. Moving to third is Willard. So now McCune and the White Sox 1 out away from notching it for Dot, his 4th win of the year.
Quickly, the pitching line on Dotson, Don. 8 1/3 innings, 4 runs, 3 earned, 8 hits, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts.
Pitched a good ball game.
Yes, he did. 105 pitches.
Here's Tony Phillips. He's 0 for 4 tonight. Takes low, the count 1-0. On deck, Donnie Hill, another switch hitter. Phillips 3rd in the league with runs scored with 41. Hewlett standing right by the bag at 3rd. That's hit to left field, but Bonilla is right there, and that will do it. The ball game is over. So for Oakland in the 9th inning, they come up with 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and they leave a man. And the final score, as the Sox make it 2 in a row over the Oakland A's, the White Sox 6 and the Oakland A's 4, and we'll be back. Now there's the totals on tonight's game. The White Sox 6 runs on 7 hits, 1 error. They left 5. The A's 4 runs, 9 hits, 3 errors. They left 6. Dotson the winner, 4 and 5. Langford the loser. He is 1 and 5, and give Joel McCune his first save of the year. So the White Sox tonight make it 2 in a row over the A's. They extend their winning streak to 2. And really, Frank, it was the bottom part of the lineup that really came through, did a lot of the damage here to the Oakland A's tonight, and a fine, strong pitching performance by Richard Dotson.
Well, no doubt about that. Ozzie Guillen with a couple of runs batted in. Julio Cruz with a couple of runs batted in. Between them, they had 5 of the 7 base hits in the ball game, and Bobby Bonilla, another youngster, had the other 2 hits. Don, I think the key play in the ball game, I've got to go to the 4th inning. With the score tied, Oakland had scored a run to tie it up 1-1. Alfredo Griffin up with runners at 1st and 3rd, and Dotson got him to ground into a double play. To me, that's the key play in the ball game, and I think that is the deciding factor right there.
That was one of the keys, and of course the 3 Oakland errors led to White Sox runs. 3 of them were unearned, but they needed every one that they could get because they win by 2 by a score of 6-4. And right now we can kind of go, and well, we'll be checking the highlights for you in just a moment. But you know, I think one of the big things right here, it was some of the timely base hits. If the big guys weren't doing the hitting tonight, it was, like I said before, down at the tail end a little bit. And right there, that was the big key. And it's not going to take everybody to do it. You can't count on one guy. Baines to do it every night, or somebody like that. Is going to take everybody in that lineup. And tonight, why, it was down at the lower end, and they were the ones that got the job done, as I said before.
Just like we said in the opening remarks, Don, a team effort. You know, everybody's got to chip in. It's not a one-man game. It's a nine-man game. Those 9 men on the field, they all have to contribute.
Well, right now we'll take a look at some of the scores for you. There you see in the American League, Baltimore defeated the New York Yankees by a score of 5-2, while Toronto crushed Detroit 12-2, and Cleveland shut out California by a score of 3-0. Elsewhere in the American League, Kansas City, they're on top of Minnesota 5-1 in the 6th inning, while Boston behind Roger Clemens. What a job he is doing this year. 1-0 over Milwaukee. That's in the 7th. And Seattle, they are on top of Texas by a score of 4-3 in the 6th inning.
Don, let me add just one quick thing here on those scores. We showed the highlight, the Joe Carter home run that won that ball game for Cleveland. That did extend his hitting streak to 19 consecutive games, the longest in the major leagues. All right, let's take a look at the National League. The Mets and the Pirates, a doubleheader. The Pirates won the first game 7-1. The Mets leading in the nightcap 2-0 in the 3rd. The Cubs over the Cardinals 4-1 in the 5th. The Phillies and the Montreal Expos are tied 9-9 in the 8th inning. San Diego leads Atlanta 1-0 early, and Houston and Los Angeles scoreless, just getting underway. Cincinnati at San Francisco should be starting in about 8 minutes from now.
Well, those are the scores around the American League and National League, and I think the biggest thing right here is the Sox now putting together back-to-back wins over the Oakland A's, and of course they've still got 2 more to go, and it'll be Joe Cowley tomorrow night coming off a good strong performance his last time out as he goes out. But we'll come back and we'll check all the highlights for you right after this commercial timeout.
This game has been brought to you in part by Budweiser, Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. And by your local Chrysler Plymouth dealers. And by the Illinois State Lottery. Winning numbers are now drawn twice a week on Wednesday and Saturday. Play Lotto. And by your neighborhood True Value store. And by Toyota. Compare. It's Toyota, not the other guys. See your Chicagoland Toyota dealers. And by Empire. Carpeting from $6.95 a yard installed, including polyfoam padding and delivery in 72 hours. And by Hertz. You don't just rent a car, you rent a company.